Good afternoon, YouTube. Hey, this is Randy Anderson. I'm going to be doing a oil change on a 2010 Cadillac SRX shown here. My primary purpose of doing this oil change, I just wanted to inform a few people on how to do the basics of car maintenance. One of the most important things that you need to do every so many miles. And I believe, I may be wrong, all YouTubers, especially those who do oil change videos on YouTube. There might be another video, but I think when I searched for it, there were some things in the car design I did not know about. I could not find a video on the SRX. But before I start doing the change, I just want to open in prayer. One of the things, me being a Christian, and two, anytime that you do any work on a car, it's dangerous. I mean, you have 4,000 or 5,000 pounds over top of your chest, and if something gives out, it'll either put you in the hospital, and sometimes it may take you out. So let me just pray for my safety, and just for the safety of anybody else who may watch this video and come underneath the sound of my voice. So Heavenly Father, I just come to you right now, thanking you, praising you for everything that you have done, everything you have taught me in my life. So Lord, at this moment, I just ask for you to guide me through everything that I may be doing and I may show on this video of the process of doing an oil change on this truck. Lord, I thank you, I praise you, and I love you. In Jesus Christ's name I pray. Amen. The first thing you need in this will be a 2010 Cadillac SRX. You will need to show you where the hood pop is if you're not familiar with the car and everything else. So the hood pop is right down here, this black lever. You pull that guy, close the door, and underneath here there is a notch that you need to push forward. Watch my middle finger. Push, lift up. The first thing I always do in all my oil changes is I pull the cap off the oil entrance. The reason why is I think about a bottle of milk or anything. If you can't get air in, you can't get something out. So I take that and I place it somewhere where I won't forget about it. Usually probably near keys is probably the best bet. So the thing that you need after that will be, in this order, you'll need a jack, you'll need a jack stand, you'll need a ratchet, you'll also need an extender, and you will need I have used met wrench sockets, so I have a metric and a English size. It's 19/32 and 15 millimeters. You'll also need a blanket if you choose to go just and want to lay on the ground. I don't choose to lay on the ground, I choose to lay on something, and it also catches oil if something goes bad. You'll also need an oil drain pan. You will need Mobil 1 oil. For this car in particular, it has I believe 77,000 miles on it, so you'll need 5W30, 75,000, high mileage. You'll need Fram oil filter, pH 160, and you'll need a plastic bag. The plastic bag is just to protect your hands from semi-warm oil or just getting your hands from getting all oily. So I'm going to set down the camera and let you watch me as I jack the car up and do the first stages. So the first stage is getting the jack in position. And this car is taller than my jack, so I will hook it and I will lock the jack, and I will jack up the car on the frame. Some people watching this may actually say, oh, you're not supposed to jack up the car on the frame. But the SRX is a little bit high from the ground, and this jack, I bought it primarily to work on my cars rather. So I jacked the car up to about a height when the wheel is just off the ground. Just in case something goes south, the wheel will catch me. And then I also put my jack stand in place too. So I go extra careful on lifting cars up. My next step is to connect my sockets and get moving. I also get to the plastic bag part. So, what you're trying to hit is the oil plug is right there. And looking at it, I'm pointing to it, it's right there, right beside the manifold going towards the back of the unit. You'll see the oil pan because it's kind of, I guess it's shaped like the state of Ohio, if you will. And you also can be able to trace it just from the exhaust system running down. So I'm going to pause the video right here while I'll show you the connection of the socket onto the bolt. Also gotta be careful because it's a little warm. This car was just driven and I like to have a car to be warm before I pop the oil plug so all the oil will drain. It takes a little bit of a pull to get this thing off, but once it comes off very, very easily. Once you break the bolt, this happens to be one of those bolts that's going to give me trouble today. Let's move the car a little bit. Every time I do this oil change, it's always fun because this bolt just does not want to come off, and it takes an exorbitant amount of strength to get it to turn. So, grab my oil pan, you see here, and I slide it underneath the car. Slide it back so that the oil drain is at, so the edge of the oil pan is at the edge of the outlet, or the edge of the plug, because when the oil comes out, it's going to actually spray out pretty good. Great. Need to open it up just a little bit more. Okay. Now the reason why I use the plastic bag to protect my hand from warm oil and also getting oil out your fingernails is kind of painful. So what I'll do is I'll now spin it off. Come on off, baby. Come on off. This thing is really being stubborn today. And more stubborn than it's ever been. Okay, here we go. Here's the magic. And here comes the oil in 3, 2, come on, plug, 3, 2, and really plug, really, 1. So, protect my hand, and got the oil plug all at once. Sweet. Just give it some time to pour. Something else I also do in my oil changes, I actually lower the car as well. Oh gosh, I got oil all over myself. The reason why I lower the car is I want to try to get the majority of the oil drained out of this thing on the first try. And I really got oil on myself and got it on my pants too. Oh well. So let me go let the car down and let it finish draining. Meanwhile, while that's draining, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to grab the oil filter off and get that thing swapped over. I'm going to be careful because my battery on my camera is low. So you see me repositioning the oil pan? It's because the oil filter is roughly in a position now where I'm at. So you can see the oil filter, and then the oil pan is somewhat in that same vicinity. It's the black handle that's beneath it where it says Fram. Let me try positioning this a little bit better and try to hit that spot. Oil's almost done draining. I think I'm in a good spot right now. I think. Not 100% sure, but let's go. Good. Alright, so I'm in a good spot now. So this part, I usually grab it very hard and just try to twist it off by my hand. It's a little hard, and they have tools for this and whatnot, but oil filters, most of the time, if you have a good strong grip, you can twist them off by hand. Sometimes you can stab them with a screwdriver and turn them. They can be sometimes a pain to get off, but they come off. So let's try it. Just with my hand, and one. Got it turning. There's a hot manifold beside my hand. Ouch. Come on, you can do it. You can turn. Okay, so I'm turning. Okay, it's coming off now. Now this is why I also have the blanket too, because it's almost impossible for me to catch this thing. But then I also want to protect the garage floor, so I'm going to throw the sheets down there and catch it. So here we go. Spin, spinning. Finally got to a drip. I'm so happy. Just jack the cord back up. Very important that when you let down the jack, if you choose to do it that method, not to move the jack. That way you don't have to get all the way down and find your jack point again and blah blah blah. Up the cord goes again. The jack stand. The oil drain plug comes to me. It gets stabbed up with, try that guy, foul. So you notice this dripping right here is my mistake, which was getting the oil a place where it's not supposed to go. Excuse me. So one of the things that you have to do to get your parts ready for the next step is you need your new bottle of oil, and you need to put some on the seals. Just create another oil type seal for the most part from oil. Strange, but this is what my instructor told me in high school when I learned how to do this. Sorry YouTube, I have the sniffles this afternoon. Just so I don't knock over my oil drain. So this is process of oil for the most part on your seals. Dip your finger in a oil, wipe the threads, and then also wipe the rubber seal on the oil filter, and also those threads as well. Notice this is not a very clean job. It's not a very difficult job either. It's just sometimes it can get a little messy in the process of doing things. So I'm leaving my oil pan there because the oil still is dripping and whatnot. So next I'm going to now place the plug back in position. You here, and you in. Plug back in place. Grab my socket. Switch the tighten position. I can possibly push this guy out the way. Good job. I didn't really get that much oil on the ground. So the extension, the reason why you need the extension is because you cannot get to this bolt with just a socket by itself. It's like the socket head is too large. So you need a extension that has the capability of pivoting a little bit. Almost like a ball and joint, a ball socket extension. Here we go. What I do in this, I usually go about tight to 6 o'clock, and then from my position I rotate. I try to get to 3 o'clock, but sometimes I can only make it to about 5 or 4 o'clock because I don't want to strip the screw out. I'm going to strip the threads in the oil pan, given this aluminum. There. Got that one about 5 o'clock. I guess 3 may be a little bit ambitious there. Switching to the next position, which is the oil filter on my hand. Push down. Sorry that the camera is not able to chase me in here because it's a very small opening, but it's that thread directly beneath the dipstick, with the angle right beneath it. So dipstick, follow the gold colored dipstick, and directly beneath it you'll see a post sticking out. I'll point to it if I can get my hand down there at the same time. Right there. That is what you're trying to get this guy on. I'm actually going to put the camera down because it's kind of hard to hold the camera and do this at the same time. Or I'll place it on the ground. So you can possibly see up while I'm working with top. Wrong location. Right location. Still in the correct location. There we go. From here it's just a little bit of fill. Once you get it on, let's just spin it on. And for this guy, I go hand tight. Ouch. Hot manifold. Go hand tight and then a little bit of squeeze. Because one thing you gotta realize what this is, when the system repressurizes itself, that thing will become super tight under temperature. After that, that is the basis of emptying the oil out. The next step is pour the good stuff in. Nothing special about pouring the good stuff in. You just pour it in and there we go. Let me get this camera a good fitting spot to watch. You ready? Good spot. Drink up. That's one. Now another 4.7 quarts after the first one. It always makes me wonder, how does GM and other manufacturers come up with percentages of, or not whole numbers for oil amounts or other things? So why not just come up with a solid number, just make things easier on everybody? That's just the way of the world, I guess. So, and pouring. I may have to do this video in 3 parts because of the camera battery and everything acting foolish there. And I am just about at 5.7. I'll save the extra just in case this car may need it at some point in time in this next oil change. Blah 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 blah. And that's that part. Let's go back and get the cap, throw that on there, let the car down, and go and reset the oil sensor. Let's do it in this order. Pull that guy, drop the car, grab the plug, toss the funnel, insert that guy so it's back alive, pans on. So there was a funny commercial. I remember it was a boy and his dad was showing him how to change the oil once, and they were almost all the way through it, and at the end of the commercial, or towards the end, they're showing how mishaps happen. And the one mishap that happened was he did not put the plug back on, so all the oil poured back out. Let's see if I did everything right underneath the car. Take a peek underneath. Oil dripping. No. We are good. Everything looks all great. Checking, checking, checking. No oil dripping at all. The last thing in there, last 2 things is pull all the supplies out the way, move the hand protection bag, close the hood, grab the key, hop in the car. After I kick some of these things out the way. Get my prayer chair out the way. Sit this guy down. And hop in the car and take it for a quick little test drive. Make sure that everything works right. So, what you want to do is start the car. I think it'll start the car. Sometimes I forget how to set this one. So you go into change oil soon. There's a little knob here. And you press this guy until it changes to the mode that you want it to be on. So I'll go to vehicle information menu. I'll twist oil life remaining, and then I will hold set clear. It'll ask me, am I sure? I'll rotate up, say yes, and Set clear. Yes. Set. 100%. Press the wrong button. Alright, let's go for a quick loop around the neighborhood. Make sure everything's all set. Oops, I almost forgot to get the oil pan from underneath. That'd be a tragic moment there to pull out and bust the oil pan instead of the garage. Yeah, I'm not going to chance it. I was going to just try to drive right through it, but taking chances of some things in life is not wise. Okay, car's in gear, oil lights reset. If I didn't do something right, it's going to show in a few moments. Put my safety belt on. Okay, going for a quick loop-de-loop around the room. Driving. So far everything seems all good. For the most part, I will call it a good oil change, and that's about it.